Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Kayfabe Central podcast and another episode of your Friday night SmackDown post-show review, or in this instance, your Friday morning SmackDown post-show review. Because here on the East Coast, SmackDown went live at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it is currently almost 11 a.m. This is the earliest post-show I have ever done, but it's not going to stop. Like you've heard me talk about on the podcast all week, if you guys have listened. Crown Jewel is also early in the morning tomorrow, as well as Monday Night Raw. Um, so just a little bit of a disclaimer before I get into this post-show review. I woke up late. I woke up around 8:50, and obviously SmackDown had started at that time already. So I had to catch up from like live recaps and all that stuff for Friday Night SmackDown, and I didn't actually see the first hour play out. But the second hour, I like from 9 o'clock on the dot, I watched. So I will be going over everything that happened. I have everything written down. And for the first hour, I really didn't miss too much. We had a return. We had a little bit of a showdown as well, between two factions on SmackDown. So I'm going to be breaking that down. I saw the clips and everything of it already. So yeah, I'm going to go through all that. But other than that, the first hour didn't seem like too much that I missed. It was really the second hour where things happened. Um, there was one thing, however, in the second hour that I did miss, and that was the showdown that I was talking about, the stare down between two factions that I'm going to break down, because I had went to spoiler alert, it was the stare down between the MFTs and the Wyatt Six. Um, I thought I had time because the match started and it went to commercial. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break. I just woke up. Um, you know, morning bathroom break, right? Um, I went to the bathroom and from the bathroom I heard the bell ring. And I was like, there is no way this match just ended. So I come back, and I just missed that stare down between the MFTs and the Wyatt Six. So excuse me if this post show review is not the greatest that I've done. But yeah, I missed a little bit on this show. But I'm gonna break it down as much as I can, and as best as I can. Before I do that, make sure you guys are subscribed if you're not already. Hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, podcasts, and interviews. I'm gonna close this blind because the sun is just in my face and it's messing up the camera shot. Um, there we go. So yeah, make sure you guys to subscribe, like, and comment, hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, podcasts, and interviews that come to the channel. Subscribe to the Kayfabe Central Ko-Fi page if you are able to. It is $5 minimum to subscribe to the exclusive wrestling content tier. Make sure you check out the Kayfabe Central Discord server. I haven't been active in there at all recently, so that's completely on me. I'm gonna try to get more active in there and get more people in that Discord server. So go ahead and join it up. There's other people in there as well. So if I'm not active, you guys are still free to join in and chat it up about wrestling or anything non-wrestling related. Um, yeah, so go ahead and do that. Make sure you check out the Kayfabe Central website as well. That's where I post all my coverage posts, all the articles, written predictions, all that good stuff is all up on the Kayfabe Central website. So go ahead and check that out. But without further ado, I am going to get straight into Friday Night SmackDown. Um, Live, obviously from Perth, Australia. That is why we had to wake up very early this morning for Friday Night SmackDown. And obviously, if you are in the States, you have SmackDown going live, I believe, at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern. So, if you're here, you're gonna get spoilers, and I'm pretty sure you know that if you're here. So, welcome to the Kayfabe Central podcast, or welcome back. The night kicked off with Cody Rhodes hyping up Crown Jewel. Him versus Seth Rollins. He pretty much came out and said Seth Rollins has become the evil that Rollins helped him defeat at WrestleMania 41, and not 41, WrestleMania 40. Um, man, these years are flying by. But Yeah, Cody Rhodes said Seth Rollins has become that very evil that he helped him defeat, that he was his shield for, and that Seth Rollins can't beat him. And statistically, that is true. Um, like I said at the start, I didn't see this promo, but from what I see, it was just a generic promo. I don't believe Seth Rollins was there, because there was nothing of him. The only thing I saw was that he was at like the pre-show or whatever, the kickoff for Crown Jewel tomorrow night. He was there earlier today. Um, so yeah, I didn't even know that was happening, to be honest. I really didn't. Um, I probably wouldn't have woken up for that either, though, to be honest with you. But yeah, Cody Rhodes hyped up Crown Jewel for his match with Seth Rollins tomorrow morning at Crown Jewel. Backstage, Chelsea Green offered Stephanie Vaquer to be what was it, a slagent in the Secret Service. Vaquer didn't seem interested at all. Tiffany Stratton then came up to them, which made Chelsea Green just go away. Then they then agreed that they will have each other's backs. Vaquer and Stratton will have each other's backs tonight in the tag team match against Julia and Kiana James. So yeah, little backstage segment there, not too much to break down. Um, Jacob Fatu briefly talked with Cody Rhodes. He was eyeing that WWE Championship. I saw the picture, I saw the clip of this as well. Fatu could be setting up for a match with Cody Rhodes down the line. That is very possible. Nick Aldis was there as well. Aldis said he liked Fatu stepping up. Fatu was then attacked by Drew McIntyre. A little bit of spoiler alert, what happened later on. Fatu got his revenge on Drew McIntyre and attacked him backstage, and we have a match officially set for next week on SmackDown. Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre. Again, this could have been a match you added to Crown Jewel just for fun because Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu are both loved. You could have added them to Crown Jewel. Um, but nope, I guess not. But yeah, Jacob Fatu could be next to challenge Cody Rhodes after his match with Seth Rollins. Because like I mentioned on the Crown Jewel predictions, I'm certain that not certain, I'm almost sure that Seth Rollins is going to win tomorrow night, and it seems that Jacob Fatu is going to beat Drew McIntyre because Drew McIntyre um is going to be filming oh, what is he in? We talked about it on the headlines, and I can't remember, but he has a movie role, and he will be having to go to Hollywood for a little bit. So, Drew McIntyre is probably going to lose this match against Jacob Fatu, and then we get some more development on Fatu versus Cody Rhodes for that WWE Championship. Sami Zayn came out for his U.S. Championship Open Challenge that was accepted by a returning Shinsuke Nakamura. We saw him looming in the background a few weeks ago when Sami was talking to Carmelo. It was only a matter of time before Shinsuke came out. I know Rue on his TikTok preview and a couple other people were expecting this to be Grayson Waller because it's in Australia. So it was not. It was Shinsuke Nakamura. He came out. Eventually, Nakamura was attacked by a mystery person who turned out to be Tama Tonga, flanked by the MFTs. We knew it was a matter of time. I honestly thought that Tama Tonga was going to return in like that vignette that Solo Sikoa and the MFTs were going to be doing, but you know what? This is much better. I think returns should just happen this way, right? So in some shape or form that inserts them into a feud. So yeah, Tama Tonga is back. The MFTs are back at full strength. And from the looks of it, based off what I said earlier on and what happened later on in the night or later on in the show, it looks like they have something. The MFTs have something, and I'm curious as to how they're going to go about this. Is this going to be the War Games match? I doubt it, because I'm pretty certain that's going to be saved for the Vision and then, a babyface team on the other side, with John Cena being a part of War Games. So that's probably going to be the case. I don't see them doing like two men's War Games matches or three War Games matches at that. Um, That there's no way they're gonna do that. So I'm curious the road that they're gonna take here. This honestly, um, it's I'm I excuse me for the dead air. I'm trying to word this properly. It's kind of giving the vibe of the Shield versus the Wyatt family back in 2014. And maybe I'm just using that example because I just recently watched Elimination Chamber 2014, but that's what it is. And obviously these two factions have not been built up to the obviously the White Six are the White Six. Um but especially the MFTs have not been built up to be at that level of the Shield or the Wyatt family. So maybe it doesn't feel as big, but they're still the two most dominant factions on SmackDown right now, and now they're gonna go at it. So there's still a level of interest to this, and I think this is pretty cool rather than just throwing them into something random and, Solo Sikoa gets thrown into a feud and he's just flanked by the MFTs and the MFTs just help him. I think this is a lot more interesting and it could be really cool. And you also gotta take an account for um, Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura. How are they gonna play into this? With the whole United States Championship picture. So yeah, I'm very curious as to how this is all going to play out, and hopefully they don't book themselves in a corner by overbooking the MFTs here. Um, yeah, because Shinsuke and Sammy are gonna want their revenge. Because the MFTs did attack both Shinsuke and Sami Zayn, in that segment there. Backstage, Nick Aldis books a match between McIntyre and Fatu. I mentioned that. Um, and then they had another attack. Um, we then had the tag team match. Stephanie Vaquer and Tiffany Stratton defeated Julia and Kiana James. Now, this match, in the middle of this match, or towards the end of this, actually, is when I turned on SmackDown, and this was at the 9 o'clock hour. Um, from what I saw, it was fine. I didn't see the rest of the match, so I can't really judge. Maybe I'll go back and watch it later today. Maybe I'll watch it along with like the American stream when it goes live at 8 o'clock p.m. So yeah, this was fine. And then they both stared at the Crown Jewel Championships after. Like I said, can't say much about this match in terms of the wrestling and how it all went down. But Vaquer and Stratton defeated Julia and Kiana James. I'm curious as to where this is gonna go now because it seems as though Tiffany Stratton and Julia may feud, and maybe that may be the case after Crown Jewel, and this was just, to build some more hype around Stephanie and Stratton. But man, they could have done so much better with this build. They could have done something so much better, and I get that they're both baby faces, and I think that's a part of the big problem here. And Stu brought this up on the podcast yesterday during the Crown Jewel predictions, is that Tiffany Stratton needs to be a heel. I think she's done being a babyface. I don't think she should be a babyface. I completely agree with Stu on that point. Um, yeah, she needs something, man, because now it's getting a little bit stale now. With Charlotte Flair, I understood. With Jade Cargill and Nia Jax, I understood it. But now that all that's out the window, I would prefer her to be a heel. If she's going into a feud with Julia, though, I don't see that happening. She's obviously going to stay a babyface, because Julia and Kiana James are not turning babyface. Um, I don't know, man. They need to add some more women to this division and really lengthen it. So you have a good division for the women's US title and you have a good division for the women's championship, and you just don't have your two women's champions feuding because you don't have anybody else on the roster. Um, that's the way I'm looking at it because it's not good. It's not good. It's not even that like Julia has held that women's United States Championship for long. She hasn't. If she's held it for like a long time and then they went on to this feud, then I'll be like, okay, sure. I hope this doesn't end in a title for title match. Um, I don't want to see either of them as double champ. It just doesn't make sense, and it makes the rest of the roster just like No, I know they have a lack of a women's roster on SmackDown, but like then there's nothing else to fight for. If one woman's holding two titles, then you're in that position of when Roman Reigns was holding two world titles, right? Let alone you're holding a world title and the mid card title. I with WWE style of booking, I don't see that ending up being a good thing at all. So I hope they don't go that route. I hope they have something else planned. But from what I'm looking at, it seems like they might go down the title for title route, which I really hope they don't. Um, Backstage, Sol Ruka and Zarya had a chat with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. They still want a shot at the Women's Tag Team Championships. They said, once upon a time, someone gave Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair an opportunity, and look where they ended up. And all they're asking for is an opportunity themselves. And Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair say, fine, you got your opportunity. Don't know when this match is happening, but they accepted the challenge. And yeah, eventually we're gonna get Zaruka versus Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. Um, they had a thing where Zarya and Sol Ruka bumped into each other, showing that they're not really on the same page. Um, I kind of like because there was once upon a time where when something would happen on NXT, it wouldn't translate when that superstar or tag team would go to the main roster. You'd be like, okay, this doesn't translate at all. But whether it be on NXT or SmackDown, you can see the, miscommunications between Zarya and Sol Ruka, and I think that turn is going to happen very soon. I think the turn should happen on NXT television because they are NXT superstars, and the pop would be better on NXT. So, yeah, obviously, I think that they're going to lose. I don't think Sol Ruka is going to be holding three titles. And I think eventually, hopefully very soon, we get that Zarya turn on Sol Ruka. We get Sol Ruka versus Zarya for that Women's North American Championship. And I'm pretty certain that Zarya is going to be the one to take that title off Sol Ruka. But I imagine that this match is probably going to happen next week. If they didn't add McIntyre and Fatu to Crown Jewel, they're not going to add this. Um, so yeah, we then had the uh tag team championship match. The White Six defeated the Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. Obviously Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy of the Wyatt Six are who the tag team champions are. I missed this match. Not gonna lie to you, because like I said, I took a bathroom break and I missed this match completely. I saw the beginning part of this match and then went to the bathroom, came back, and the match was over. Um, like the entire segment was over. And by the time I came back, we went to commercial break. Um, so yeah, that's not fun that I missed that match. But honestly, I don't think I missed much with this match. Um, I can't see this being like a five-star classic that I need to go back and watch. Um, or like a barn burner that I need to go back and watch or anything like that. Um, I assume it was just a tag team match. It was just the Street Profits versus the Wyatt Six. It wasn't anything special. At the start of this match, there was so they brawled and BFAB was just on the apron for like longer than she should have been. And I don't know why. Like she was just there. She didn't jump down from the apron. She was just sitting on the apron. Like she was confused as to what to do. I don't know. It's a little thing that I noticed, and it just goes to show that like PFAB is not good. And I like all due respect to BFAB. That all due respect to her. I think she has moments where she showcases she can go a little bit, but I don't think she understands a lot of the pro wrestling world and the industry. And we talked about it on the podcast yesterday as well. I think it was Stu that brought it up. Like, BFAB is not the greatest wrestler in there, and she's not even women's mid card champion talent. I don't think she is. If you were to put that title on BFAB, I wouldn't see it as realistic. And again, that's no shade at her. It's just what I've seen. You can't make me believe that BFAB would be a good mid-card champion at all. But there's that. I don't understand why she was just sitting on the apron. She eventually jumped down, obviously. But yeah, after the match though, MFTs approached the Wyatt Six. They had a very cool stare down. They had the face paint on. I think that's a callback to their New Japan days, when Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa were a tag team. So yeah, cool little callback there. Um, and then yeah, that was that. We then moved on straight to the last man standing match between Aleister Black and Damian Priest. This was a fine last man standing match. I didn't find it too special. It's not the best last man standing match that I've watched, but it's also not the worst. Um, I don't know. It's a last man standing match on SmackDown. It's not going to be anything too crazy, and it's also a WWE last man standing match. Um, However, towards the end of the match, they fought in the crowd. They were on those like boxes that for some reason Damian Priest loves fighting on when he has these no disqualification matches. Um, but yeah, they were fighting on that, and he was about to, I believe, choke slam Aleister Black off of it, and Zelina Vega came out of the crowd and tried to stop him, like got in front of Aleister Black, and tried to stop the attack. Zelina Vega jumped down, but I believe Zelina Vega was the one who handed Aleister Black some sort of fireball or whatever that Aleister Black threw in the face of Damian Priest, hit the black mass. Priest fell off the boxes into a table. And then they counted to 10. The ref counted to 10, and Aleister Black defeated Damian Priest. I thought that Damian Priest was going to win this match. If you listened to the podcast yesterday, I said that I think they were just going to go with the route of um, Black won the first match and Priest gets his revenge in the last man standing match. Did not expect Zelina Vega. I don't think a lot of people did, because I honestly completely forgot about her. Um, yeah, I'm glad that she's doing something now. She looks like she's aligning herself with Aleister Black, which is really cool. I like that a lot. I definitely like that a lot. Um, it gives her something to do, and it gives a little bit more. It gives something a little bit more to Aleister Black's character as well. Um, he's not a guy that needs a mouthpiece though. Um, so I'm curious as to see how this is gonna work because with Andrade, I understood it because Andrade his promos aren't the greatest. So I understood why he needed Zelina Vega, but Aleister Black, he cuts good promos. So I don't think he really needs that mouthpiece. But you know what? He gets to work with his wife. So you know what? I'm not gonna knock on that at all. Um, so yeah, that was Friday morning SmackDown. Aleister Black defeats Damian Priest. Shout out to Rue, by the way. He called that right, and Stu, by the way. Stu and Rue. I'm saying too many things at once and I'm getting mixed up. Stu and Rue predicted Aleister Black would win. I was the odd one out. That said, Damian Priest was gonna win. Obviously not the case. Um, yeah, that was Friday morning SmackDown. Um, an okay episode, an okay go home show. There wasn't anything too special on this except for like the stare down between the Wyatt Six and the MFTs. Um, yeah, nothing else too crazy on this episode of SmackDown, honestly. And you know what makes this post show easier, honestly? But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about Friday morning SmackDown. Actually, give me 1 second. All right, we are back. Apologies for that, but yeah. Let me know what you guys thought about Friday morning SmackDown today for October 10th, 2025. And I know for the US audience, they goes live at 8 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. I am not used to doing a Friday morning post show, so I excuse me for the dead air. Yeah, let me know what you guys thought about Friday morning SmackDown, and I will see you guys tomorrow. No, that's a lie. I will see you guys on Sunday for the Crown Jewel post show as well as the headlines of the week. We are doing a combination episode, so it's probably going to be another long one. So make sure you guys are stay tuned and keep a lookout for that. But yeah, let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below on YouTube because these weekly post shows are not on Spotify. So let me know your thoughts, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.